The Nasdaq traded at 20,000 today and closed at 20,035. Unbelievable. 348-point move, 1.77% on the day. The volume was just a tick above the 50-day average volume. It was kind of nostalgic for me because that 20,000 number hit me, because I was around, 15 years old by the time the Nasdaq even came to fruition in the early 70s. And my dad just always taught me to buy, IBM and General Motors and Standard Oil Cal, which is now Chevron. That's the kind of stocks he got me, started on. But if I go back, we had the Nasdaq 5,000, in 2000, from 99, the big run, 2000, it ended in March, 5,132. And then it traded down to 1,100. And we thought, at that time, I thought, this thing's never going to get back to 5,000 ever. And it took it many, many, many years here from 2000 to, 2014, 2015 before it got back to 5,000. Yeah, 2015, man. So, yeah, 15 years, man. Incredible. That's how overvalued it was back then. But this long stretch, man, you talk about a big base, and now it's been running for a while. It hit 20,000 today. It just hit me, man. Like I'm old for one. And the larger numbers is like for now, for it to get to say 22,000, it's only 10% move, which I think, it'll probably do. If we look at this Nasdaq here on the weekly chart, you could say it, broke out from that 16,000 area. That's when I believe, you could say that, that pullback here, and that's when it broke out really from its base, right? There's your box, right? And now it's just been ripping, melting up, I guess you would say. But after 2 days of pulling back, the caution was ahead of the CPI data, which I didn't really figure into my calculus because I figure the Fed's going to do what they're going to do anyway, regardless of what the number is. But the market was real cautious ahead of that number, sold off growth stocks, which I'm going to get to in a minute. And then today, when the numbers came in, as expected, we had a little bit of a relief rally. So that tells me that, that they want to buy stocks, but they're cautious ahead of, data. And the Fed still is the, the tail that wags the dog. This is, or it might be the dog that wags the tail. The Nasdaq yesterday pulled back to 4.9% above the 50, and today ripped, and now it's 6.5% above the 50. And like I said, it can always go higher, 7, 8, or 9%, but it'll always come back. And yesterday I was getting a little concerned, but it was still above the 21. But the problem was it was the Mag 7 that was being bought, a flight to safety, and those growth stocks, our leading growth stocks got whacked hard. And I'm going to get to that in a minute. But first, I'm going to go to the S&P 500. First day with my new mouth. Anyway, this one cleared 6,000 and then got rejected here. You can see it clearly 6,017, pulled back to the 21, squatted there a couple days. Now knocked on that door again, got rejected, knocked on that door again, and this time it went through, and ever since then it's been trading above the 6,000 level. So let's go to like a 15-minute chart, see if we can see that 6,000 level. Yeah, it went above it and teeter-tottered, and it's been above it for a while. That doesn't show it very good. You suck. All right. Anyway, the Dow Jones Industrial Average not as strong today. Even gave back some a little bit, 90 points. Anyway, it was all about the growth stocks today, all about the Nasdaq. So that tells you that there's willing to take more risk in those names when you see that. So yeah, we those are the stocks that we like. And anyway, I've got to get to the IWM. IWM. All they're doing, the Dow Jones and the IWM, all they did really was pull back to their 21 EMA, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And so, all right, I'm going to move on from the indexes because, I don't trade indexes. I just kind of, it's nice to have the, tailwinds. I mean, if you were trading today and you saw the Nasdaq up 300 points, it's a lot easier to trade if you're in Tesla or Google or some of the leading growth stocks which bounced today. It's with the Nasdaq with the tailwinds from the index, it really makes trading a heck of a lot easier. And so I'm going to get to some of the names here that I like, some of the leading growth stocks that rebound, bounce, and some that didn't, and then some of the sectors that did well today that I'm looking at. Anyway, I got to start with the Mag 7. I mentioned them as they were carrying the index here recently, especially the last couple of days. Apple made a new high today. I think it's 9 or 10 days in a row where it made a new high and then pull back today, just ever so slightly. Microsoft, I put this one on the ready list because it broke above that downtrend line. And, there was a flight to safety, and it's kind of a safer play. You're not going to get hurt here. And so I don't want subscribers to get hurt in the market. And so went safer route today. And Microsoft was up 1.28%. It's still building the right side of the base. Might be getting a little extended from that 10 right there. It's 2.4% above the 10. So if the 10's heading north, the 21's heading north, as long as it stays above those, as it builds the right side of the base, the standard buy point's 468. And Microsoft looks fantastic. Google had the news yesterday with Willow, and it followed up today nicely. It broke out from the 182 yesterday, but the close, if you look at the close on Tuesday, it closed right here. Yeah, because it ran up and then kind of flattened out. Today, it really got some power as the index, the Nasdaq, romped higher and it closed. You can't even see the candle on this one here. 98% of the daily range. That's a nice hammer. 195.40. 200 might be resistance here if we take a look. Yeah, that's a nice breakout of that beautiful looking chart there. 22 weeks, a strong week up 12% this week. So Google looks fantastic. Meta platforms, I was hoping it would come back to the 603. It's not gonna accommodate my wishes. But anyway, it's just trading higher. To me, it's just too extended. I'm not gonna buy it there or put it on a ready list at that point. Amazon, another one that, the tailwinds of the market makes it a lot easier. You can see it's extended too from its moving average. It's a 4.5% above its 10, but still heading north. Moving average is heading north, stock heading north, and everything looks a-okay with Amazon. Tesla, which was our big winner today, in the market, was up nearly 6%, a lot of power, good volume, 15% above average, 50-day average volume. But I wanted to take a look here because I get asked a lot of questions about, is it overvalued? Should I buy Tesla now? Well, yeah, I think you should. Yeah, it's extended for sure on a daily. But if you look at this on the weekly, this had a high of 414.50 on November 5, 2021. So it's been over 3 years here. And when it hit 415 or 414.50 today, it pulled back a little bit, back to like 409, giddy up 409. And so there were some sellers at that level, but it ripped through 400. It ripped through its old high of 414.50, and now it's above it. So I think you can expect a move. I mean, that's talking to, I don't believe in the theory, the bigger the base, the higher in space. It's just, you just need a base, any kind of a base. I don't think there's any data that's been done on this that says the bigger the base, but that's a 3-year base. So what would you expect of a breakout from a base like this? I would say 10 to 20%. So yeah, $40 higher would make 460, or 20% would be like 500. I don't think that's unreasonable for Tesla at this point. But on the daily, like I say, it is a little extended here. But it's got strength, and if investors are buying it, no telling how high it can go. Yeah, it's 11.9% above the 10, so I've got to switch over to the 5 with these stronger stocks and see if it'll pull back to its 5 if we can get lucky. And yeah, so it's just cruising on the 5 there. It's 6.9% above the 5. So a little pullback there. Today the 5 was 397.45, and it's been going up, what? Yeah. You can see $10 a day, $15 a day. Anyway, Tesla's super strong stock. And then the last one's NVIDIA got going today. We saw some movement. See, now people are starting to forget about NVIDIA. They're talking about Tesla. They're talking about Google, talking about Apple and Microsoft, and nobody's talking about NVIDIA. So maybe while everybody's sleeping, this one can make a move. It just pulled back to its 50. It stayed one day below it, and then today closed, 0.3% above it. So let's see a bounce from NVIDIA. Come on, man. It's about time, huh? It's been consolidating for a long time. All right. That's it for the Mag 7. I'm gonna move on to some of the semis because the semis got a boost today. This is Broadcom, AVGO. They were up nearly 7%, but they report tomorrow. So there could have been some short covering there, shorts getting out of that trade. But you can see this double bottom base. It's actually a base on base, and the double bottom base is the second base. It's a late stage base. But either tomorrow they're going to announce and break out, or they're going to fall back, one or the other. Looking forward to that report tomorrow. It should be pretty strong, I would think. I mean, I'd be disappointed if it wasn't. Um, ARM is another one of these semiconductor fabless stocks. Bounced today off its 200, another 4% move. These things, this one's been in the doghouse for a while. MRVL reported earnings and then had a nice spike, pulled back to the 10. Oops, that's the 5 now. And then popped today, nearly 5%. So that's what I'm looking for with these pullbacks. They find support and they bounce. And I'm going to show you at the end of this video some stocks that I was looking for today. Some of the leading names that have been strong recently. And then AMD, Lisa Su, Time Person of the Year. This stock just can't get out of its own way. At some point, this will be a buy because that's just kind of the way AMD trades. But it's clearly in a downtrend here, and it'll stabilize. It'll catch its footing, and then it'll form a base, and then it'll start to pick up. Too good of a company. Yeah, it's well managed. They got accelerating sales growth here too, 9, 18%. It's got earnings growth accelerating. So we'll see about AMD. It might become a value play here pretty soon. All right, I'm going to go to my specialty. Everybody knows I love this sector, and it's the oil and gas space, and can't sleep on these things. This is Kodiak. I had this thing on our watch list at 29 something, and I didn't buy it, and it went higher without me. Made a new high today. Oh, sigh. You can't kiss all the babies, as they say, but up 4.5%. It's just trending on its 5, like Kelly Slater, just surfing, hanging 10. I know, and I really wish I would have bought this because I want something in that space. I'm all piled into these software, hardware names, and yeah, it's nice to diversify. But anyway, the oil and gas stocks were cooking with gas today, making new highs. AROC, AROC. This one broke out here, pulled back. Didn't even make it to the 21 here. Now popped today, a new high at 2666, up nearly 4% today. So that's a nice move. GTLS. This is Chart Industries, oil and gas machinery equipment, making a new high today. You can see how it broke out. Little shakeout here before the breakout, cup shape pattern. There's your handle, and then pop goes the weasel. And then FTI, this is Technip. This one, nice consolidation here, and it broke out. Now, I wouldn't call it a failed breakout. It's just a pullback to the false breakout, maybe pull back to the 21 and pop nearly 3% today. So keep your eye on that one. Pull back to its buy point there of 29.85. So a lot, like I say, 50% of stocks will do that. GLNG, I think that one made a new high today. Yeah, that one looks strong, breaking out of a base. Very nice. And then CASY. CASY, this is a supermarket, but it's got an oil and gas play, so it's a segue into the retail names. It's a retail, and I guess it's got gas stations adjacent to Walmart's, which we know has been on fire. Anyway, pinched in here. They reported earnings recently, and 7% to 14% accelerated earnings, sales flat, but made a new high today. So Casey leads us to our retail name. So I'm out of the oil and gas, and I'm into the retail. Hey, there's Longleaf Mutual Fund. Ollie's Bargain Outlet popped out of its base on Tuesday following its earnings report. And that's what you want to see, when you own a stock. If you own this for a while, it always, I've never been to an Ollie's, but I know a lot of people like this shop, and I know they like the stock as well. Up 13% yesterday and followed through today 2.25%. So that's what you want to see. Big volume coming in for Ollie's Bargain Outlet. So there's a lot of retail names. I can't get to all of them, of course. Just going to show you a little sample. This is Decker's, company that I really like. I went and got shoes the other day, and the lady steered me away from Hoka's. But anyway, there's a cup with a handle, broke out. Now it's just surfing its five, doing nothing wrong. It was up only 1.4%, while the index was up, what did I say, 1.7%? Yeah. Anyway, the Deckers kind of marches to the beat of its own drum. So just quality shoe name. And this is another shoe name that broke out with earnings, and now it's just trending with its moving averages. Pulled back the last couple of days during the market weakness and popped nearly 7% today. This is Wolverine Worldwide, www dot make me money, and that's what it's doing for us. And the last one I have to go to another WMT, Walmart. Yeah, I mean, Walmart just surfing that five. It actually pulled back, back to the five. Just, man, this thing's a monster. So it's up near the 100 level. I would imagine once it gets there, it'll probably see some resistance here, but you can see the breakout and just running. Walmart, just a monster stock, taking market share from Target. Um, all right, so that's it for the retail names. I got to get to the software. I'm not going to go to the ones that I normally show. I'm just, the ServiceNow. This one's one of the larger and liquid software names making new highs today. That can't be bearish. Salesforce, they reported last week, and they kind of like I think it was last week, they gave everybody like the okay, that the AIS stock, and software is real. And the software names just really took off last week. Pulled back the last couple of sessions to the five, and then bounced nearly 2% today. Salesforce looks good. KD, Kevin Durant, our famous Phoenix Sun. Anyway, this one popped up, pulled back to the five, and now the last couple of days, man, when the market was pulling back, this one was up 2%, so that's relative strength. Today, another 2% move. That's Kyndryl Holdings, KD, and then Globe, GLBE. It's not Globe, I just call it Globe. It's Global E Online, an Israeli-based company. Making new highs today, and obviously this one popped after earnings and just, surfing the five, up nearly 4% today. Yeah, making new highs is always bullish. And then INFA, this is a software financial name. Some of the software financial names have been pretty strong. I don't know why I picked this one. I picked the wrong one. Sorry about that. And INFA, maybe it was. INTA. Just guess till I get it right. Yeah, INTA, INTAP. I wrote the ticker symbol down wrong. Anyway, I made a new high today, and the computer software financial names has been pretty hot lately. I haven't even checked in since I'm mentioning these. Four is one. Pull back to the 50. At least it bounced today. And then Q2 has been one that I like. Yeah, pull back to the 21, caught support. And the other one is TOST. Yeah, now it traded below its 21, so it's got to get its rear in gear. All right, let's move on. Hopefully I posted these properly. YPF, I'm going to the Argentina stocks. Argentina was on fire today. And the theme, this is oil and gas, YPF, but I threw it in there, not in the oil and gas space, but in the Argentina stocks. This one's surfing its five after breaking out. Super strong stock. This is one that Stanley Druckenmiller, has got a position in. And man, this thing is super strong. The last couple of days, when we saw pullbacks in the market, this thing was showing relative strength. So, that's one to buy on pullbacks for sure. So the other Argentina stocks, a lot of them are banking stocks that are doing well. This is Grupo SUPV from Argentina, 137 branches anyway, making a new high. And like I say, new highs are not bearish. These are bullish moves here. This is one that keeps bouncing off the 21, man. If you can't see the pattern here, you're blind. Every time it pulls back to the 21, it just pops higher, pops higher. That looks like machine trading. Just, okay, somebody's got a machine, and every time it pulls back to the 21, they're buying it. That's GGAL, GGAL. And then BMA is the last one I'm going to show you in the Argentina names. Don't want to go too crazy on the Argentina. Boy, does that thing look like the last one I just showed you? My goodness. Yeah, they're just buying them at the 21 here. This one popped nearly 8% today. So the moral of the story is when they pull back, don't fear pullbacks. Buy them. I like to buy the bounce, but notice them when they come back. They're bouncing every time. Trades down, pops up. So yeah, all right. That's it for the Argentina stocks. I had to get to another group here before I get to what I really want to get to today. This is the building material stock, AZEK. This is more, it says building, residential, commercial. I think it's, yeah, more residential, but I don't know. I don't know that much about the company. I know their products, but I don't know if they make most of their money off residential or commercial. Anyway, made a new high today, so that's always bullish. This is the Techno Glass company, another building construction company, just popped off the five there, making new highs. So up nearly 5%. That is not bearish at all. LYTS, this is one from a while back, and it's been kind of like in limbo, but just popped recently, pulled back to the 21 and made a move today. Yeah, this is one that had this nice run here during the bear market. This is one that stood out because it was one of the few going up, as everything else was tanking. All right. Let me see. What am I going to get to here? All right. Okay. I'm going to get to what I really wanted to get to today, and that is I was looking for stocks, leading growth stocks that had pulled back the last couple of sessions or pulled back earlier this week to a moving average, and I was looking for them to, not pop and make new highs, but just to find support at a moving average and then show some strength. And that's what Reddit did today, and that's encouraging for me. Had this big move on Monday where it was, I think it was upgraded, Wells Fargo or something, went up to 180 and then pulled back. Then on Tuesday, it made a high of 176, then reversed lower down to 151. So that was kind of a disappointing day. But today had an inside day. And if I zoom in here, you can see that it just pulled back to its five and bounced off its five. It doesn't look like much, but that's a 6.5% move because it had that big move on uh, Tuesday. It was upgraded today at Barclays, I believe, with a 200 price target. And you know what I just look at is, they can say all they want about upgrades and downgrades and all that. This is the footprint here that tells you, if institutions like the stock or not. So they're buying it no matter what they say, upgrade, downgrade. They're buying Reddit. This is only 3 days this week, and it's already above average volume. So somebody likes Reddit. I don't know. Maybe after the election there was a flight to Reddit or something, or it's been really popular since the earnings, but and the election as well. So this has been a lot of stocks have been up since the election. That it's not anything new, but there's the election there on the 5th, and it's just been ripping. So the low was 110, the high 122 that day, closed today at 166. So yeah, somebody likes Reddit. You can't hide those institutional footprints, ALAB, this is one that I think is just going to be a longer term winner. If I go to the weekly, you can see the IPO base, the pullback, and it's been up every week since that one pullback there, the week of the 15th, 4 weeks in a row. Like I say, once again, look at the big blue volume bars. It's selling off on little pink volume bars, and it's trading higher in these big blue volume bars. So those are institutional footprints. And if you take a look at the fund owners, you could see them all in here, Lord Abbott and Fidelity and Invesco, Columbia, and Alger Small Cap. I mean, this is This is one that I was looking to bounce today. It only pulled back to its 5 yesterday, so you can't really expect much. I mean, this is one that I wasn't expecting a lot from today, but I wanted to see it find support at a moving average, and it did at the 5. So there's your clue. When it pulls back to the 5, look for a bounce. All right. Another one that I was looking for today was AppLovin, which has been a monster stock. Got a lot of questions off AppLovin that people think it's a climax top and they want to call. I don't call tops. I don't call bottoms. I'm not that guy. I don't need my ego stroke that I was the one that called it. I just want to make money in stocks, and I hope that's all you want to do too. That's the name of the game, making money in stocks. And if you made money off this trade, you got to say that most of the meat is off that bone. That's a big move, but it's still in an uptrend. Yeah, it made a high there of 417.64, and you could call that a short-term high, sure. It pulled back to the 21 and found support though, so it's clearly still in an uptrend. And if you just, I don't know, people just want to call tops. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to say it's in an uptrend. It pulled back to the 21. Looks like technical trading. Look at that earnings line. If they continue to do that, that 417 will probably be taken out at some point. So that's why I'm not going to call it a top. It's in an uptrend. How about that? That pulled back to the 21. So that's my answer, and I'm sticking to it. I like the stock. I sold it though because I can't take the pain. I'm not wired that way. So it's going to go higher without me. It went up, yeah, 17 points there, more than 5%. So congrats to those who have the guts to hang on to that. Like I said, it's still in an uptrend. I still like the stock. I'm not going to call it top. So yeah, if you hold it, great. If you sold it, great. Now there's always another one down the road, as Mick Jagger saying, they come and go like streetcars. All right. Palantir, another one that's acting a lot better than AppLovin, pulled back to its I guess that's the 10. I'm not going to change it back, but it closed right there above the 5 today. So it pulled back, found support at the 10, and then popped 2 something percent. Still looks good to me. No, I'm not going to call that a climax top either. Stop doing that. 80.91. I don't really care. I'm trying to make money in stocks. I'm not trying to be a hero. All right, DoorDash. This is one that didn't really pull back that much. Yeah, it pulled back to its 21. It made that high of 181, but I think the low yesterday was what, 171. So $10. This thing to me is, I think you always have to look at different time frames when you're looking to buy a stock, monthly, weekly, daily, even 15, 10, 5, whatever. But this one broke out of this cup with handle base and is marching higher. Yeah, pull back the last couple of weeks. I mean, it's down 1% this week and 1% last week. I'm not going to get too excited about that. They're not going to go up every day or every week. This thing is definitely heading north. And as long as it finds support, like it did on the 21 and bounced today and closed above the 21, 1.5% above the 21, and tick above the 5. So it's back above the 5. It looks fine. The other one is GoDaddy, which is a leading name in this software group, along with the ones that I showed you, ServiceNow, Salesforce, AppLovin. There's a lot of them that are doing well. Shopify. Anyway, this one pulled back to its 5, found support. So that's not really much of a pullback. And it went through 200. You can see it bumped here a couple of times. And stocks will do this. They'll keep knocking at the door, and finally they'll bust through. And then now that becomes support, 200. As you can see, it pulled back. And so investors are willing to pay more than 200 for GoDaddy. That's what that tells you. Oh, okay. I got to get to the energy group, because VST and GEV were two that I was looking at today. This one pulled back to its 50, a vicious sell-off the last few sessions, man. This had a 3 weeks tight pattern, and I thought, okay, 3 weeks tight. This thing's going to add on buy points, a real popular name, up a lot. But stocks that are up a lot also have a lot of profit to be taken, and it's down nearly 9% this week. But you could see it pull back to its moving average and bounce today. I need a little better bounce. I mean, a bigger bounce, but at least it's off the 50. It was up, what, 3 something percent today? Yeah. So 146, got to get back through that 150 and then back through the old 168, 67. I think it'll do it, but it's just going to take some time. GE Vernova, they announced Dividend, stock buyback. They announced a lot of stuff. Forward guidance. They got it all today. And this one just pulled back to its 21 essentially. Yeah, it traded debt below it a couple days, but you got to give it a day or two. I mean, you can't be so hasty that you just throw it out because it pulls back. And anyway, it popped today on that news. And I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth because I sold AppLovin. But anyway, yeah, that's what I wanted to see from GEV and VST in the alternative energy and electrical power. It's basically, power supporting the data center build out. So those are two. I was encouraged by the moves in those two. Arista Networks, this is a networking company, just pulled back to its 10. Yeah, popped 2 point something percent today. So that one looks good as well. Intuitive Surgical. So I'm going through different areas, right? Medical, yeah, networking, software, internet, and electrical power. And this one, 1%, still not off the 21 like I would like it, but it's trading tight and trending along the 21. So as long as it stays above the 21, I'm okay with it. Spotify, I was kind of worried about this one today. Pull back to the 21, didn't really pop like I wanted to, but give it time. Give it a couple of sessions. Spot beats to marches to the beat of its own drum here. You can see it pull back to the 21, popped a little bit, still closed a tick below the 5. So, like I said, it's going to trade how it wants to trade. And Spotify looks fine to me. You just, can't expect it to go up every day. You want to see support at moving averages, and that's what we saw. Now, this is the heavy construction building stock. Quanta Services pull back to the 50. The second time since the breakout, found support and popped 4.5%. So that's what I was looking for with that one. And then Sterling, which has been stellar, 3% move here, just a tick above the 21 though, huh? Yeah, just a tick above the 21. And so, found support and popped 3%. So we'll take that. And the last one is MicroStrategy. CEO Saylor, he's buying all the Bitcoin he can, selling stock to buy Bitcoin, and convertible bonds and whatever he can get his hands on to buy Bitcoin. But it's paying off. It had this monster move up to 543, pulled back to the 21. To me, that's a buy area. If you own it, like a secondary buy. If you don't own it, maybe you could initiate a position. And now it's through 400. So we're going to see if it can go through 400 like poop through a goose, like Tesla did, or if this is going to be resistance here. And the trades, the price of Bitcoin helps. And last I checked, Bitcoin was up 101,000, and this is the third time Bitcoin's been above 100,000. So it's been met with a lot of selling in the past, and that selling might have abated. So I think this time Bitcoin might take off maybe to 105 or 110. We'll see. And this stock is going to go with it. But support at the 21, nice pop, 9%. So anyway, that's it for me. Thank you for watching. A lot going on. And like I said, the Nasdaq is more than 6% above the 50 now. So we got to watch it. But anyway, at mcstockcharts.com, we never give up. Oh, except for I have one more thing. After hours, just a couple little items here. Adobe spit the bit. Yeah, not a good report. And these guys, this chart was looking good too. This nice little rounded base. The last time sold off on earnings comes up. Supported the moving average, and then bam, the the door the bottom falls out of the floor, right? Air pocket, 8% lower. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I'll see if it can find support at one of these moving averages there. That sucks. The trap door, that's what I was looking for. Trap door move. OXM, this is Oxford. This is the Tommy Bahama, Johnny Was brand, and they missed on all metrics, down 5% after hours. I'll have more in the morning on this one. And the last thing is Kroger and the ACI, the Albertson deal was next. Dr. No wins another one. This is rejected. I kind of knew this one was going to happen. So what they did, since they couldn't buy Albertsons, let's see how Albertsons did on the news. The judge said, no, sir. Yeah. So that was the company that was going to be acquired. And I think, I think the market knew this was going to happen. This has been in a strong downtrend. Kroger, though, consolidating in a base here, pull back to its 50, and tonight announced a 7.5 billion share buyback program. So, if you can't buy a company, you just buy your stock back. That's going to buoy the stock for sure. 63.04 after hours. Yeah, this is a nice consolidation. So it's going to take off from this little area and out of the profit taking zone. So, excuse me, out of the buy zone. Out of the buy zone. So don't be chasing it. It looks like it's going to have a nice move tomorrow. And hey, if Dr. No, gets her way, then you say yes to something else, like buy your own stock back. So that's the way it goes in the market. Anyway, another fine day on the market today. Thank you for watching at mcstockcharts.com. We never give up. So you better not either.